Hello and welcome to FNN Insider. Today I'm finally joined by the new co-host, the king of commentating, Ryan Silva.
That's the king of commentating for you, and I'm glad to once again be working under the FNN name.
This is the former colour commentator and the former commissioner for FNN Next Gen, so he knows his shit about FNN. And that's why we're going to get an inside look to the brand. And the first subject that we're going to get straight diving into head first, kind of like the way Roman Reigns went head first into the mat, is Trent Seven winning the FNN Shooting Star Championship. Ryan, what did you think of the match?
I thought it was a blockbuster main event for that episode of FNN, and believe me, I mean, you said it yourself, that was a pay-per-view worthy match, and Trent and Roman took each other past their own limits and put on a pay-per-view worthy main event for the fans in the Fight Zone that evening.
I do agree with that. Like, I still say that was a pay-per-view quality match. If that was at FNN Down Under, people would have said it was one of the match of the nights. But is there something weird about this whole situation? It seems Trent definitely has the number of Roman Reigns. That's 2 matches in a row that he's picked up the win.
Yeah, it was quite a shock. It was quite a shock when Trent was able to pick up the victory against Roman to become the new Shooting Star champion. I was definitely shocked when it happened, being that Roman, is just kind of fresh in his reign. It was kind of fresh in his reign as the champion. The Trent coming in and just like that taking the title, it was quite a shock.
Trent's had his ups and downs ever since joining FNN. He get defeated in his first night by the Black Label. He get his first pay-per-view when he was defeated by the Lionheart Chris Jericho, and he got attacked by his own protege and Tyler Bate. Then he was defeated during the FNN Shooting Star tournament by Roman Reigns himself. So there's all these little things as Trent Seven's aggression pushing him to a whole new level, making him the shooting star of FNN, shooting through the ranks to become number 1. Do you think he has the potential to become world champion?
Well, I mean, on the role that he's on now, yes, I definitely see Trent in the future becoming a world champion. But right now, he has to focus on his reign as Shooting Star champion because he's got a lot of credible challengers lining up to try and take that strap from him.
He does indeed. Like, there's Ricochet, who just came off of a loss in the Triple Threat Hardcore Championship match. Then you've got Double A, the self-proclaimed main event, Austin Aries. And Austin Aries has been on fire. Obviously get defeated by Roman Reigns, but do you think he could be the one to take Trent from that shooting star role and just put him into the dust of a crater, of a meteorite that just hit Earth?
Well, I mean, it honestly depends on the mindset of Aries because, like you said, Aries suffered the loss in the finals of that Shooting Star tournament. But prior to that, Austin Aries, per my knowledge, has been undefeated except for that one loss. So Aries is as credible a challenger, as credible a contender for Trent Seven's Shooting Star Championship as anyone. Of course, there's Roman Reigns, who deserves his obligatory rematch for the championship. So he's obviously at the top of the rankings right now. When he's going to get his rematch, when that's going to happen, that's all up to you, of course. And with Ricochet, I mean, Ricochet is a credible challenger for the championship, but you've got to keep in mind, Ricochet was the one that took the pin in that triple threat match for the Hardcore Championship, which kind of lowered his stock a bit. But I can definitely see him in the future challenging for the Shooting Star Championship. The question remains, though, will Trent Seven be the champion whenever that happens?
It's seeming like there's a lot of tension in the Shooting Star Championship journey, you could say. There's also a lot of tension happening in the locker room of the FNN Tag Team Champions, the Border Watch. Jack Swagger has picked up numerous losses, not just on TV, on the live shows and things like that. Do you think Jack Swagger is you could say, the weak person in that team?
I mean, as of now, definitely, I think Jack Swagger is the weak link of the faction, excuse me, with the recent losing streak. But I mean, it's strange for me personally, because when Border Watch, debuted as a tag team, it was just Jack Swagger and Luke Harper. Now throwing Aiden English into the mix, so the fact that Aiden English is now trying to take that top spot role in the faction, walking out on Jack Swagger recently, it's kind of strange to me. And there's also the situation behind what Luke Harper thinks. Luke Harper, of course, won the FNN Tag Team Championships alongside Jack Swagger. So I mean, it's a complete mess within, the rankings of Border Watch.
We got word that the Border Watch will be in tag team competition this coming Friday when they face off against the debuting collision known as the Kings of the North. Everyone that knows the independent wrestling scene knows of these two men, two warriors from Ireland, that I think they could take out the Border Watch, but it is a non-title contest. That's what people need to remember. It will be Jack Swagger and Luke Harper in this match, so we will see how Luke Harper feels. Do you think there's going to be, as we say, tension?
I mean, I mean, we still have to see what Harper's, opinion is on the whole situation, how that will affect the match. But with Swagger being in the tag match, it definitely brings up the question whether or not Border Watch can get the job done against one of Ireland's top tag teams. And it's not only the Kings of the North; they've got a lot of other tag teams they've got to worry about as well, because with this tension between Border Watch, teams like Enzo and Big Cass, the Mighty O'Neil, and others are now as credible as ever to sweep in and take those titles off the once dominating faction.
Yeah, exactly, and they're just going to sniff out the weaknesses, and it seems like the weakness is Jack Swagger. He lost against Drew Galloway, which a lot of people would lose against Drew Galloway since he is the FNN World Champion, the former FNN Hardcore Champion, Shooting Star Champion. His list goes on. But he did lose against Elliot Sexton as well, so it's a confusing one when it comes to the Border Watch. It really is. Especially because of how powerful the tag team is. If that becomes the end of the Border Watch, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people feeling sad, as it is everyone's favourite enemy. But there is another thing, another person, another snake that could end at FNN. The end is all just coming into like a fairy tale story, the way everything clicks into place. We could see the end of FNN General Manager Eric Bischoff when he goes one-on-one with Tommy freaking End at FNN. The end, as I said, everything clicks into place. What do you think about this match?
Well, personally, I mean, Eric Bischoff accepting the challenge in the first place is possibly the stupidest decision he's ever made in his role as general manager. And I mean that in the kindest way possible, because I'm not trying to get fired on my first night. But the fact is, Tommy End is on a roll. He's been undefeated ever since stepping foot inside the fight zone. And I really don't think Eric Bischoff is going to be the one that, puts an end to the rampage that Tommy End's been on. So with End walking into the end undefeated, it surely looks like the end for Eric Bischoff. Like you said, clicks together.
There's an even other bigger story that could make everything click into place. It is confirmed now here in FNN Insider, an exclusive, as usual. We always get the exclusives in this show, is Eric Bischoff could be done if he loses against Tommy End. His FNN general manager spot gets stripped from him, right out of his grasp. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, with that stipulation, it gives Bischoff more incentive to fight for his career, to fight for his job. Because I know as much as anyone does that Eric Bischoff is in love with this company. This company, is his. He's built it, or he's helped build it from the ground up. So it's going to be quite the match at FNN The End Part 2. But facts are facts, and Tommy End is undefeated for a reason. I'm going with Tommy End in this match, regardless of the stipulation.
It has to be. Like, End is furious. It's an odd one because End started out as one of Bischoff's favourites, and he just kept feeding him opponents. But Tommy End got upset because the opponents weren't, so to say, worthy of being in a ring with Tommy End. So Tommy End snapped and challenged Bischoff to a match.
And I mean, it's understandable.
It really is, because not everyone wants to be mistreated. Speaking of people that haven't been treated like crap, and other people that have been treated like dirt, is Drew Galloway, a man that has been given everything to him on a silver platter when it comes to Friday Night Nexus. He is one of Eric Bischoff's boys, one of the Black Label. He's one member of the Black Label. We're not quite sure if the Black Label still exists, but there's all those little connotations still floating around. And there's just the thing, when we walk into the end, who is challenging Drew Galloway? Have you got any inside scoop to who he's facing?
Well, I mean, the ranking system in Friday Night Nexus is, it's up there, but right now, with the new FNN World Heavyweight Champion in Drew Galloway, while many might think it's just Murphy, that deserves a rematch at the title, there's also Dean Ambrose, the former champion, who never received his obligatory rematch for the championship. So, there's going to be a clash there between Murphy and Ambrose as to who deserves the shot at the title. Of course, there's the new hardcore champion, Chris Renfrew, who took the hardcore championship off Drew Galloway, who himself was the longest reigning, I believe, champion, period, in FNN history when he was hardcore champion. So there's a lot of names stacking up, and a lot of people throwing their names into the hat to try and get a shot at Drew Galloway and the FNN World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It seems Dean Ambrose is obviously away getting distracted with some sort of altercations constantly with the Architect, the FNN Heritage Champion, Seth Rollins. 82 days he has been champion. That's an incredible feat, but the thing is, he's not defended it, so can you add credibility to that? Probably not. But Buddy Murphy is showing up this Friday. He's making his return since losing the FNN Championship. I think he's the only person in Friday Night Nexus that held a championship for under a day, and that must suck for him, especially losing it in his hometown, winning it in his hometown, then losing it in his hometown within what was it, 10 minutes? Like, that sucks. But Buddy Murphy's going to address it all, and let's just say there's a few surprise people that could get added into that championship ranking. I'll just tell you that there is a few.
Oh,
that's another little inside scoop that you can get right there. But
right here on FNN Insider.
When we've got championship rankings and things like that, we get championship challenges. There was one person that was originally going to be facing off against the Border Watch. We're going out of kayfabe territory in a way. We shouldn't be using those words in this, but we're going to use it anyway. Alberto Del Rio, everyone knows who he is, everyone knows what's happening with him currently. We're just not going to address what's happening since it's still under investigation. We're not going to point the blame. Everyone can point the blame at who they want. At the end of the day, it's under investigation. Del Rio and Chavo Guerrero Jr., two people that haven't even debuted yet, probably never will debut now due to the things that happened. So this means the Border Watch are walking in to FNN the end without a challenger, without even anything thought of in the creative aspect. Do you have any idea who could challenge the Border Watch at the end?
Well, I mean, it's up in the air right now, like you said, with Alberto and Chavo now. I mean, like, with the whole situation there, we're not going to get into that, but with, Border Watch and the topic of them defending their World Tag Team titles at FNN the End too, you mentioned earlier that they will be facing off against the Kings of the North in the upcoming episode of Friday Night Nexus. So you have a lot of credible challengers, and like I said before, you've got Enzo Amore and Big Cass, you've got the Mighty O'Neil For all we know, the Young Bucks could, pop up out of nowhere and they could get a shot at the titles. There's so many tag teams out there that could come to Friday Night Nexus and, get a shot at the title, possibly take the belts off of Border Watch with the dissension going on right now. Teams like Polo Promotions, can't even think, Red Dragon off the top of my head, Reno Scum, I don't even know, LAX, you've got EYFBO, there's so many tag teams out there that can come in and, take that top spot now that Alberto and Chavo are, out of the ranking system.
Yeah, it's the thing that people that don't follow the FNN Wrestling.com or the FNN Twitter page won't really know about Del Rio being cut because he didn't even debut. As FNN Wrestling.com said, would feel wrong, morally wrong, to show someone that is accused of this and potentially is true of what he did. I'd feel wrong to show that, and hopefully everyone understands. But back into the topic, as you said, the Young Bucks, Redragon, Reno Scum, anyone can show up. Pole Promotions, the greatest tag team in the world, according to some people. I disagree, but Border Watch are the greatest tag team in the world. It proves that when it comes to FNN. It proves it right there, as I said. As of this episode, 180 days, bang on the spot, Border Watch have held those belts. If you can't say that's a huge feat, then you must be a bit dumb. That's the only way to say it. So I think that is it for FNN Insider this week. We got 5 main scoops right there that not many people would know about, a few match announcements, and a few appearances. So FNN this week is going to be crazy, and we'll be back next week, of course, and I'll just let Ryan do his little bit before I sign off.
Right, alright, it was great, thank you, Scott, for bringing me back into FNN and for making me co-host for FNN Insider. Right now, though, I'm gonna, give a little quick shout out, a little cheap plug here. You can catch me, the king of commentating, Ryan Silva, every Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my YouTube channel at Silva Gaming. Link will be in the description below. Please check it out. Support the series. I have my SmackDown series, and support that and FNN, and you'll have one hell of a Friday night, ladies and gentlemen.
That was it. That's the best way to say it. Friday nights are the place for universe modes. It's a place for wrestling in general. Obviously, the real Friday Night SmackDown isn't on anymore, but Ryan's the realest guy in the room, so go watch that Friday Night SmackDown. But of course, stick to your boy FNN. This has been FNN Insider. That's been Ryan. Thank you for watching.